political tension, Nigeria's beloved artist Davido does the unthinkable. He boards a private jet not for a concert, not for an awards show, but for a meeting with a leader the West calls controversial, and the youth call revolutionary. Burkina Faso's president Ibrahim Traoré. There, beneath the hot sun and thundering applause of thousands, Davido doesn't just take selfies and smile for the cameras. He does something that shocks the entire continent. He opens his heart and his wallet. With the world watching, he gifts Traoré a jaw-dropping $1 million, publicly and proudly, in support of youth empowerment in the new...
Davido, God bless you for you to support African movement. Davido, as I hear this news, I'm very happy. God bless you. The land of Africa bless you. You will live long. OBU to the world. We love you.
Burkina Faso. The act, bold and beautiful, was meant to inspire. It was meant to uplift. It was meant to say, Africa for Africans.
Yes.
Unity over division. Youth over corruption. But in the corridors of ASO Rock, it sparked envy. It exposed insecurities. And it triggered a silent political war. At the center of that war was President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Old Lion, who saw in Davido not a musician, but a rival to influence.
Yes.
What followed was a storm of fake headlines, character assassination, and state-backed intimidation.
They are afraid of African youth.
But Tinubu wasn't ready for what came next. From the shadows of Nigeria's online activism rose a voice even louder than his, the controversial, fearless, and brutally honest Very Dark Man.
I swear.
This is the fictional story of how one artist's Pan-African love lit a fire, and how even a president couldn't put it out. Ouagadougou, the capital of Burkina Faso, had never seen such energy. News had leaked. Whispers became posts. Posts became trends.
Yes.
And then the videos confirmed it. Davido's private jet was on final descent. The people erupted. From school children to market women, motorcyclists to retired soldiers everyone rushed toward the airport, phones in hand, screaming the name of the Nigerian superstar who had defined a generation of African sound. As he stepped off the plane in a simple but stylish agbada embroidered with green and gold, the cheers became deafening. Davido smiled, lifted both hands in a peace sign, and walked toward the welcoming committee. Behind him, his entourage wore t-shirts with the words, "One Africa, One Youth, One Voice." But what happened next turned a cultural moment into a political earthquake. During a nationally televised youth empowerment rally held in front of the Burkinabe presidential palace, where thousands had gathered under banners of unity and progress, Davido took the mic. He paused, looked out over the crowd, then turned to face President Ibrahim Traoré. Africa needs more leaders like Traoré, Davido declared.
Davido.
I came here not just to visit, but to support. I'm gifting $1 million to help empower the youth and support the new Burkina Faso. There was a moment of stunned silence. Then the eruption. The crowd went wild. People wept. Others fell to their knees. Twitter story X crashed in West Africa for 2 minutes. Number Davido in Burkina trended at #1 globally for over 6 hours. Influencers, fans, and Pan-Africanists celebrated him as a hero. Commentators called the move a cultural reset, an act of defiance, the beginning of a youth-led revolution. But as the celebrations soared in Ouagadougou, dark clouds began to gather back home in Nigeria.
To hear your name, OBU. Hey, 001.
Inside the opulent walls of ASO Rock Presidential Villa, the mood was sour. President Tinubu watched the entire broadcast in silence from his media war room, the smile on Davido's face, the standing ovation from Burkinabe youth, the endless retweets. It gnawed at him. His aides stood silently around him, unsure of how to read the growing storm in their boss's eyes. Then, finally, he spoke his voice low and bitter. "He's making us look weak," Tinubu muttered. "Imagine a singer showing more leadership than the president." The room tensed. You could hear a pin drop. One of the younger aides, perhaps foolishly bold, stepped forward and said, "Sir, the youth are celebrating Davido's move more than any government initiative."
You do very good
Tinubu slowly turned his head toward him. His stare was ice. Then he said quietly, Get EFCC. We need to start looking into him. Find something. Anything.
That
That was it.
EFCC
The order was given.
is not
And with it,
for
the quiet
Nigerian
war began not
protection.
just
No.
against Davido,
EFCC
but
is
against what he
for
represented.
European
Youth empowerment,
Football
African
Federation
unity,
for Nigeria.
and power outside the state's
Europeans
control.
have taken Nigeria as their own football pitch. And the youth of Nigeria,
Within
this
48
Ahmed
hours,
Tinubu
the
is
headlines
supposed to
began
go
appearing like
hold him,
clockwork,
give him
carefully
better,
planted, strategically released.
lashes,
First came the
push him,
whispers,
take him,
then the tweets from
throw him
faceless
into
burner
that
accounts.
Banana
Then
Island Sea.
full-blown tabloids.
Foolish man.
Davido's mysterious $1 million. Where did it come from? Is Davido
now
secretly
EFCC
funding
know
African
that
coups?
Davido is a
EFCC
fraud.
to investigate
He's a
source of
scammer.
Davido's
He's
donation?
this.
The
Immediately
Economic
they
and
will
Financial
see
Crimes
any
Commission,
Nigerian youth
EFCC,
rise
issued no official statement,
working
but the
hard
internet noticed
to
something
find his
different.
own money. They
Davido's
will call
managers
you
were being
as a
contacted by
scam,
strange
as
people.
this. So since
Surveillance
Davido
vans
started
appeared
his own work,
outside his
who
Lecky
don't
studio.
know that Davido
Journalists
is a hard
reported
worker?
leaks that seemed too
Who doesn't know
coordinated
it?
to be accidental. Still, Davido refused to flinch.
Davido, all
On
the way,
Instagram,
G2,
he posted a
G2.
single story with white text on black. Love always
Tinubu,
wins.
if Tinubu try
Nagade
nonsense,
run
you
my
will see
matter.
what we are coming to
His
do
fans
him for
erupted
Nigeria.
with support. His streaming
And you are
numbers
there
skyrocketed.
claiming
International blogs
the
defended
giant
him.
of African
African artists
president.
like Burna Boy, Tiwa
You the
Savage,
mad.
and Stonebwoy posted messages of solidarity. But the real explosion came from
You
someone
see how
nobody
this
saw coming.
small boy
A lone warrior with a
see
phone
sense he have
and a mouth that
for your
spared
own
no one.
continent, and you as a leader, you don't have any political
His
power.
name was already feared
But
in
you
high
see what
places. Very Dark
Davido
Man,
is
digital
doing.
gladiator, known for calling out hypocrisy,
And you are there calling
corruption,
yourself
and
as a
social
president.
injustice
Which
without
president?
filters.
Now you
And
know
now,
that
he
EFCC
had
is
chosen
supposed
his
to
next
check on
target, the
Davido
Tinubu
sources of
administration.
income.
In a viral 10-minute monologue
Idiot.
titled, They're Afraid of Davido's Light,
You the
he
man,
stared straight into the
not
camera,
EFCC.
fury in his
Take him
eyes.
to
So,
International
because
Criminal
DeVito
Court.
gave a fellow
That
African
place, they will
president
bring
$1 million,
you results, even
now
24 hours.
EFCC is
Not
suddenly
that you are
investigating
EFCC,
him?
bogus EFCC
Where
you
were
have
you
in
when
Nigeria.
politicians
This
were
is
looting
the,
trillions?
Administration.
DeVito is promoting African
Nonsense.
unity, and you're promoting
We will
jealousy.
still promote
The
African
video
unity
hit 3 million
for
views
them
in
to
24
cry.
hours.
Puppet
But he
leader
didn't
like
stop there.
Tinubu.
Every
Go to
evening,
Togo.
Very Dark Man went
We will-
live
Togo,
exposing
you
what
know,
he
see
called
now,
the shameful,
Togo
desperate
youth are
tactics of
rise.
the Nigerian
You see what
elite.
is happening there.
Unawan used
All of you,
EFCC
your
fight
time is
person
coming.
Wayday Build Africa.
So
If you touch Davido,
from
now you go
now,
collect.
if you need
He
your
named
peace
names.
as African leader,
He dropped receipts.
for the youth to
He exposed
support
shell
you, you
companies
have to
and
change
backdoor
your
government
mindset.
deals that had
And
nothing to
through
do
all
with
those
Davido.
puppet laws
His
you
energy
have
was
given
contagious.
us for this
The
African,
movement
our own
swelled.
continent.
Artists, civil
Now
society
we are here to
leaders,
fight
and
for
even
our
quiet
own.
opposition
No.
voices began echoing his
We will
words.
not agree,
Hashtags
we
like
will not
number
agree
hands
for
off
anybody.
DeVito and number Very
Davido
Dark Man
all the
speaks
way,
flooded the
Davido,
web.
God bless
The tide
you.
was turning.
Tinubu, may God
Tinubu, for
punish
the
you.
first time in
Punish
months,
your entire
felt the heat
generation.
not from
Foolish
international
man.
press, but from his own people. And all
Idiot.
this began with one man, one flight, one gift. Enraged by Very Dark Man's influence,
And you have seen this
Tinubu's
kind of
allies
news
attempted to
online.
silence him.
You are not happy.
There were attempts
and
to
now you know
deplatform
that
his
you have to call
pages.
your EFCC.
Paid influencers began
Not
dragging his name
EFCC,
online.
You go,
But it was too
AFCC,
late. The
Aboa
narrative
man,
had
Kwasia.
shifted. Nigeria wasn't seeing
You people
DeVito
think
as
we
a
are come
musician
to
anymore.
use,
They
use
saw him as a
people to
patriot.
play.
Protests
All
began
these
in Lagos,
puppet
Abuja, and
leaders
Port
in this
Harcourt.
Africa. All of you are
University
not the
students wore
friend of the
shirts that
youth of
said,
Africa. All
"I
of you
stand
are
with
the enemies
Davido.
of Africa.
Music is not a crime.
Nonsense. You are selling
$1
our
million
own
of love,
destiny
not loot.
to some
6.
different continent for them
turning
to
point.
protect their own citizens
A
and
leaked
their
phone
own
call
everything.
changed
Even
everything.
go to Europe and see.
In a conversation
even
allegedly
animal
recorded between
have
two
better life
political
past
aides, a voice identified
the
as a
youth of
high-ranking
Nigeria.
EFCC official admitted,
And you will
"We
not
were
think
told to
about
find
this.
anything,
Anytime
even if we
you
have
see
to invent
anything
it."
about
The
Africans
audio went
try to
viral.
move on,
News channels
you are
picked it
the
up.
one
Tinubu's
who
government
our
issued a
leg to
denial,
calm
but the
down.
damage was done. That same
You
night,
demand.
DeVito posted a video
Tinubu.
from his studio, surrounded by children in
The
Burkina
way we will start
Faso.
to curse
He
you now,
said,
you will
"They
run
tried to turn
from
love
that
into
Nigeria.
controversy, but love doesn't
Foolish man.
break, it
Call
builds,
yourself
and
a
we're
leader.
building a new
Which leader?
Africa, one act of kindness at a time."
See the kind of kindness work Davido has do. You,
Pressure
Tinubu,
mounted on the Nigerian
you can do this
presidency. International
one
media
day.
questioned Tinubu's priorities.
This
Why
$1 million
investigate a man for
Davido
giving
have
when billions were
afford
missing
to
from
Burkina.
government accounts?
If it's you,
Eventually,
you will keep
Tinubu
this
had to
money
back
on your
off.
pocket.
No
and
charges
tell the
were
whole Nigerian
filed.
that Nigeria has
EFCC
going
withdrew.
to IMF
But the political
to borrow
damage was
and
permanent.
come and build
A satirical
roads,
cartoon
build
in a
schools.
major newspaper showed
Nonsense.
Tinubu trying to pull
Everything
Davido down,
Nigeria
only
have
to fall into a
everything
ditch labeled shame.
to
Very
succeed,
Dark
but
Man
now you
posted,
see what you're
game
doing.
over, you messed with the wrong one.
We will come for you. Don't worry. You will see
Davido
us.
returned to Nigeria like a hero. At the
We
airport,
will come for
thousands
you.
welcomed him.
OBO,
Journalists flooded his team with
OBO,
questions,
001.
but he smiled and
Davido,
said,
we love
"Let's
you.
focus on love."
God
That's
will
all I'll say.
protect you.
He later
guide
launched the
you
Unity Africa
to more
Foundation,
success.
focused on youth
This
empowerment
one you have
across
seen is
African
not
countries,
a
with
success.
the
You
initial
will see
$1 million
a lot of
as
success
seed
in your
funding.
life to
Burkina Faso
help
named a street in his
African
honor,
to
Avenue
become
Davido
success.
Traoré. Ibrahim
Ibrahim,
Traoré
all
called
the
him a
way.
son of
You have
Africa's
shown us the
promise.
road. We will
Music,
follow you.
power, and
We don't
legacy.
know anybody
In a
in this
continent
African
struggling with
continent.
broken
Ibrahim,
politics and
number
stolen
one.
futures, Davido didn't
Number
just sing
one,
Hey Stood.
Ibrahim.
In the face of envy, he remained calm.
OBO.
In the face of political threats, he inspired. And when it
Davido,
all ended, he was stronger,
we
loved
love
more,
you.
and more influential than ever.
Shout out to
He didn't
Davido
respond with
and
hate,
the crew.
he responded
We
with
have
hope.
Thinkware.
This story
This
reminds
one,
us that no matter
not
how
only
dark the
Davido,
system
all
gets,
the people
light will
surround
always
around
win.
Davido have a
So
good
if you
mind.
believe in
God
unity,
bless all
music,
of
and
you.
Africa's future share, this video,
Africa.
like and subscribe. Because this is only the
Tinubu.
beginning. Africa
Think,
is
oh,
rising,
think.
and Davido
Old
is
man
singing
fool,
the
think.
anthem.
And protect your city.